Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on your own mind. We're diving deep into the core ideas from Daniel Kahneman's incredible book, Thinking Fast and Slow, to really get a look at the hidden machinery that's running the show up there.
Okay, so to kick things off, I've got a little puzzle for you. It's a great way to actually see this mental machinery in action right now.
All right, read this one carefully. But here's the key. Go with your gut. What's the very first answer that pops into your head? Don't overthink it, just let it come to you.
So if you thought 10 cents, hey, you're in very good company. That is the answer that feels right, isn't it? It just kind of jumps out, almost like you didn't even have to think about it. But here's the twist. It's wrong. The correct answer is actually 5 cents. Yeah, think about it. A 5-cent ball and a bat that costs $1 more, that's $1.05, adds up to $1.10. So what is going on here? Why does our brain fall for such a simple little trap so easily? Well, the whole answer lies in what Kahneman describes as two characters, two systems that are basically the stars of our mental life. He calls them System 1 and System 2.
Okay, so System 1, think of this as the hero of the story. It's your gut reaction. It's fast, automatic, and works with basically zero effort. It's your mind's autopilot. Then you have System 2. And System 2, well, it's kind of the lazy sidekick. It's the one that handles the heavy lifting. Complex calculations, deliberate, logical thought, but it takes real, conscious effort to get it off the couch.
Here's how they work together, or don't. System 1 is constantly feeding suggestions to System 2, impressions, feelings, intuitions. And most of the time, our lazy System 2 just accepts them. It doesn't double-check the work. That's exactly what happened with the bat and ball problem. Your System 1 shouted 10 cents, and your System 2 was too lazy to stop and actually do the math.
And this dynamic, this interplay between the fast, intuitive system and the lazy, deliberate one, it leads to these predictable mental traps, or what we call cognitive biases. So let's look at a couple of the really big ones, the ones that constantly shape how we see the world.
First up, we've got something called the availability heuristic. Sounds complicated, but it's super simple. The idea is, if an example of something comes to your mind really easily, you're going to assume it happens all the time.
Now check this out. This is a perfect example. The fact is, strokes cause almost twice as many deaths as all accidents combined. But when you ask people, a whopping 80% think accidental death is more likely. That's a huge gap between reality and what we believe. So why? Why are we so wrong about this?
Well, it all comes down to what we see and hear. Think about the news. Dramatic, shocking things like plane crashes, fires, car accidents, they get tons of media coverage, right? They're vivid, they stick in our minds, so they become more available in our memory. Our fast-thinking System 1 sees those vivid images and jumps to the conclusion, wow, this must happen a lot. And our lazy System 2, it just nods along, never bothering to look up the actual statistics.
All right, next up is a really fascinating one, the halo effect. Basically, it's our brain's tendency to let one good or bad thing we notice about someone cast a halo over everything else about them. We get one piece of information and we just kind of fill in the blanks.
Take a look at Alan and Ben here. Now, most people see Alan way more favorably than Ben. But here's the thing, they're described with the exact same words. The only difference is the order. See how that works?
The sequence is everything. When you start with intelligent for Alan, a word like stubborn suddenly seems like a positive thing, right? Like he has conviction. But when you start with envious for Ben, intelligence suddenly sounds kind of dangerous. Your System 1 wants a simple, coherent story. It quickly decides Alan is good or Ben is bad based on that first impression, and then it twists all the other facts to fit that narrative.
So the big question is, how do we use this knowledge? The goal here isn't to get rid of our fast thinking. We need it. It's what keeps us from getting hit by a bus. The real trick is learning to recognize when our gut might be leading us astray and when it's time to hit the brakes and call in for backup. And really, that's what this is all about. It's about having the language and the tools to spot these mental traps. It's learning to recognize the signs that your System 1 might be jumping to a wrong conclusion so you can deliberately wake up System 2. So let's break it down into a simple, practical process. First step, recognize. Just learn to spot the situations where you're most likely to fall into these traps. Big, complex decisions, or when you're feeling really emotional. Step 2, slow down. Seriously, just pause. Resist the urge to go with that first, easy answer that pops into your head. And finally, step 3, engage System 2. This is where you deliberately ask questions, challenge your own assumptions, and go looking for more information.
This quote, it perfectly captures a huge piece of this puzzle. It comes from a classic experiment where people were told to watch a video and count how many times a basketball team passed the ball. And while they were so focused on counting, a person in a full-on gorilla suit walks right through the middle of the game, thumps their chest, and walks off. And guess what? Half the people never even saw it. We can be so focused on one thing that we become literally blind to the obvious.
And that really leaves us with a final, really important thought to chew on. Knowing your mind is designed to jump to conclusions, to create simple stories. What might you be blind to right now? Understanding how these two systems work is a huge first step. But the real, day-to-day challenge is just remembering that what you see isn't always all there is.